Bro,
What's up?
it feels like the world is ending. Is
Yeah?
it?
You know what I feel like?
What?
I feel like this bitch has been ending since it started. And
Oh.
yet we're still here.
Wait a minute. You mean the world has been predictably ending since it started?
Sure as hell has.
And it hasn't ended.
Hasn't ended yet.
All right.
I guess it depends on where you live and what time, what event.
That's true.
Maybe your little pocket
Yeah.
ended.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some rise and falls of kingdoms. Kingdoms have risen and fallen.
Yep.
So today we're talking about prepared versus
Paranoid.
which is a perfect podcast episode piggybacking off our last episode,
Of fear porn.
fear porn. I think we should just dig in.
Stay again, bro. You want to redo that intro? I just recorded that. Yeah?
Like a TV show. That intro is badass.
You love that intro.
I love it.
Every time it
It's
plays.
honestly one of the most favorite things you've ever done.
I'm Jonathan Noel.
And I'm Brian Noel,
This is the Focus Cast.
where we help you remove distractions
Increase focus.
so we can live a life with intention. Intention.
Intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you intend to live a life of stress and paranoia and be riddled with anxiety all day and be miserable? Do you intend to do that?
No.
No. Hope not. You're not my friend.
No. I can't spend time with those kind of people.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone really does.
I don't
We're
think
not
it's
meant to live that life.
No. So
Yeah.
this one's about prepared versus paranoid.
Yeah.
The prepper space is pretty big right now.
Yeah.
You know, it was already big, and then COVID happened, and then it just kind of like blew up.
Yeah. And with the internet and constant access to fear
Yeah.
porn, it makes way for, like, I saw someone do a review on these, what are the meals called that last like 10 years?
The MREs,
Yeah, stuff like that.
meals
there's-
ready to eat.
Yeah, there's so many companies now. And he was just talking about, he was reviewing them and talking about the ones that were actually good. And he's like, most of these are just absolute dog shit because they know that there's a 98% chance you're not going to use them.
Yeah.
So you're just buying shit. They can
just
just
sits.
make shit because it doesn't matter.
It just sits in the garage for 30 years,
Yeah.
and then you die, and your kids throw it away.
Yeah. Or if something does happen that disrupts the food supply and you
Makes you
eat them,
sick.
you get sick as shit because it's 90% of your sodium intake with a half a cup.
Yeah. If not 90 times your sodium intake.
Yeah. And you know what I've thought about?
What's that?
I do have a food supply. Now I research the companies, and the main thing I had to consider is my youngest has allergies.
Yeah.
So like, and it's not like kill you allergies, but it is like he'll have like massive blowouts and raw ass for
Yeah.
several days if he eats certain things, right? Which that would suck.
Yeah.
So I got like high quality food, like more black beans and oats and things like that last a long time. But you know what all those require?
Water.
Water and to cook it.
Yep.
So if you have the food but not the water anyway. So that's the shit we're talking about today. Like, how do we bridge this gap? How do we maintain appropriate
Yeah.
preparedness without slipping into this constant state of paranoia?
Yeah. Well, first, let's hit kind of in the intro. We were touching on this.
Yeah, the world
The world has always been ending.
Yeah, I love this. I'm so glad
Yeah.
you went here on the notes.
There's always a war. There's always a civil war. There's a pandemic. And I didn't even know about this until I threw it in the Google search. The Tambora Eruption, 1815. Apparently, it blew so much sediment and shit in the atmosphere that it was a year without a summer.
That's crazy.
Like, it didn't get warm.
Wow.
It was cold and there was famine. So, you know, and I'm sure if you were in the middle of that,
It
You're
felt like
scared.
the world was ending.
it felt like the world was ending when the people around you are starving.
You literally, it's damn near dark.
Or like how many people were starving in the Soviet Union?
Oh, millions.
Yeah,
Didn't millions of people die during
I
some of
think
that
it was
stuff?
millions.
Yeah.
So you've got, you know, stupid things like Y2K. Everyone's freaking out. The computers are the zeros and ones.
Oh,
Remember
see,
that?
I graduated the year of 2000.
Yeah.
So that is a very prominent memory for me.
But I'm saying this goes back. The world has been ending.
But
The
you know-
world has been ending for humans for
since
some prophet told you that something was going to happen. The Revelations or the Mayan calendar or this or there's a war or a terrorist attack, fucking Black Plague.
yeah,
I'm sure that felt pretty weird. You're like, oh, whole towns are dying?
yeah, you like.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay
literally
over
someone
here.
coughs, and by the end of the day, they're dead.
Yeah. But here we are. You know why? Because
'Cause
humans
we're
are like roaches.
I knew where you were going with that one. So real quick, I gotta stick on this Y2K for a minute.
Yeah, let's go.
So, because even though the Mayan calendar ending was 2012, for some reason Y2K was prominent.
Yeah, it was an impressionable year.
Yeah,
Impressionable age.
Graduating high school, But here's what's funny. Guess who had the solution to Y2K?
You did.
No,
Who?
Bill Gates.
Really?
He had a software for you to update your computers to be able to pass Y2K. So the story was that all electronics were going to go offline.
Right. Because the 0-1 what?
Yeah.
Conversion
Because
or
apparently
some bullshit.
computers couldn't handle going from 1999 to 2000. But the solution
Was a software update.
was a software update brought
From
to you
Microsoft.
by Bill Gates.
He's been doing this shit for a long time,
He's
huh?
been doing this for a long time.
He's been in the game.
He's-
He's been in the game of having solutions for convenient problems. Convenient solutions for inconvenient problems.
That's pretty funny. I feel like that was the first test.
Hey, I mean, I was young enough to where like I wasn't scared, but I was kind of like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
My beeper going to stop working?
How am I gonna play RuneScape? Red alert.
Oh, man. What about the large, what is that?
Hadron Collider. Large Hadron Collider. Fuck me.
Hadron Collider. What is that?
The Large Hadron Collider. Hold on, let's
Criti-
hit that again.
All right. Okay, so what's the next one we got here, bro?
Yeah, so I didn't even know people were worried about this, but the Large Hadron Collider,
Yeah.
it's a massive particle accelerator underground that shoots particles fast as fuck to smash them together, and they can study like whatever they study for that.
So it's like a black hole?
I mean, that's what people were worried about it. They were worried it was going to create. I actually kind of remember this, 2008, among my marijuana consuming.
That sounds like a perfect
fog.
thing to talk about while you're sitting around consuming marijuana.
Is that the Large Hadron Collider, whatever, is going to smash particles together and create a miniature black hole, and is going to suck up the Earth. So,
Hey,
people-
since the dawn of time,
people have been
there's
scared of something.
people talking about the end of the world, and there's been people getting high
Yeah.
talking about the people talking about the end of the world.
I mean, I just imagine if you're, whatever, a tribe and you see like comets or
Oh, yeah.
eclipses, what was it like being an early human witnessing some,
Total eclipse.
the first forest fire? What was it like seeing a forest fire like 10,000 years ago?
We've also had, I was thinking about this in preparation for this episode. So, since I graduated high school, we had Y2K,
Okay.
and then we had 9/11.
Okay.
We had the housing crisis.
Yep.
We've been, since 9/11, we've been at war
Pretty much the whole time,
pretty much since then.
except for
Decades.
Trump.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But
Yeah. I mean, well, a lot of that went away during Trump.
yeah, then we have a
And
fresh
then
one.
Now we're
Back in
supposedly,
Ukraine.
Yeah, back in Ukraine. That happened fast. So we've just all these things. Oh, we had the housing crisis of 2006, which I lost $25,000 on. We had the .com bust.
Yep. .com bubble.
Right, that was crazy.
Yep.
And now we're potentially
COVID.
COVID
Yeah. Had that one.
hit that one. Yeah,
All since high school.
all since high school.
So that's what I'm saying.
I'm not 100 years old.
No.
I'm 40.
Yeah.
That
When
all
you
happened
say it
since
like
I
that,
was 18. That's
when it-
2 decades. 2 decades.
Yeah. 2 decades.
2 decades. We went to war the whole time. Supposedly
Yeah. There was a
pandemic.
pandemic. Some people call it a plandemic.
Pandemic. We've
That's
had 3
definitely-
economic bust.
Yep.
and a major terrorist attack.
Yeah.
So,
All in a decade's work for America.
yeah, and you know what's crazy?
All in a what?
Apart from my taxes going up like crazy and inflation kicking my ass, it hasn't affected me at all.
But you could have sat there and been obsessive about it and thought the world was ending.
For the past 2 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So that brings me to the next point. What the fuck are we even preparing for? What is this? What are the preppers prepping for?
I love this question.
Like, what is it? Because you just said economic downturns, terrorist attacks, 9/11, pandemics, yada, yada, yada. Here we are.
Here we are.
So what's the point?
Still in a air conditioning studio,
Yeah.
giving our thoughts
I'm not eating raw squirrels.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I would cook them, but
Yeah.
I'm not in the woods trying to,
Yeah.
live off of roots and fucking rodents.
Yeah. So I'd be dead in a month. So I think if we shift from paranoid to prepared,
Yeah.
right? Things like supply chain disruptions.
We saw it with COVID.
Saw it with COVID.
If you say, well, there's always going to be food on the shelf,
That's not true.
that's not true. We saw it with COVID.
Yeah. And when some of the major pipelines bust and there was limited gas, that's happened, I think,
when the
5
weird
times.
shit was going on with China and stuff wasn't showing up.
Yeah. Oh, supply chain post-COVID for 2 years.
Yeah.
Things took forever.
Yeah.
So I think it's being prepared for a supply chain disruption is being prepared.
Right.
Being paranoid is sitting all day obsessing over the fact that
Right.
we're never going to eat again.
Paranoid is 200,000 rounds of 9mm. Prepared is at least enough. Whatever that is for
Whatever
you.
that is. So for us in our house, I feel like I have 3 months of food that my entire family can eat. That's pretty healthy food.
Yeah. That's reasonable.
Yeah, it cost me, I don't know, $500.
You didn't spend your whole life
$900
savings to rent a warehouse to put 5 years worth of food in there
Yeah,
and then bankrupt yourself for an event that may never happen.
yeah,
That's paranoid.
that's paranoid. Or just not enjoying life,
And if you like prepping and you have money, whatever.
which that's fun.
Build your shelves,
Yeah.
put your canned beans on it and shit,
Yeah,
or dried beans, make it nice and neat, get your bunker going,
yeah.
But once it starts ruining your marriage and your kids when your kids are asking you where you've been, maybe you've spent too much time in the bunker
Yeah.
preparing for the event that's
If you would be compared equal to someone with a gambling habit, it might be bad. But that's what happens to me, right? Because this is what's funny. So I'm the person who typically stays in a prepared. I like to be prepared.
Yeah.
Just naturally, I'm a preventer by nature.
Yeah.
My brain is wired to look at what could go wrong.
Yeah.
Like in a business situation, it's like we're starting a project. What are the points of potential failure?
Yeah, contingency plans.
Yeah, contingency plans. Like that's just how my brain works, and I like that.
Yeah.
But if I engage in fear porn, and then I'm literally sitting there thinking I
Hijacks your
should
system.
redirect my funding towards buying a plot of land, getting food, and then I just start obsessing over how I'm not doing enough,
Yep.
and I become paranoid. And then I go ride my bike, and I release that negative energy,
And then you're ready to go.
and I'm ready to go.
Yep. That's prepared versus paranoid. That's the cycle.
Yeah, some other things like supply chains, pandemics, right? Like now that we know that we can be controlled by pandemics,
Yeah.
unlike ever before, we know there's going to be more pandemics,
Yeah.
right? Like we know that.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to happen, whether it's planned or not. Like the Black Plague, I don't think that was planned.
I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
But,
COVID.
diseases get smarter. So,
Yeah. Especially when they're designed in a lab to be smart.
yeah, hey, 100%.
Civil unrest. I mean, I don't live in a major city, but if you do live downtown and there's a riot going on, you
Yeah.
might not be leaving for at least a day.
Yeah, maybe 3.
So maybe having just a couple days worth of food.
Yeah.
Does that mean you have to have, a fucking cannon
Off the balcony.
at the top of
your-
the stairs with with
Of your
80
Atlanta
cannon.
property.
But I mean, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, thinking through, like, again, like, if you're driving through a city and then
Yeah.
you get stuck, do you have the stuff in your car to leave your car and go hike for a couple miles for safety?
yeah,
Little things like that.
yeah,
Or do you get a flat tire and for some reason you can't fix it on the side of the road and it's at night and you're 10 miles away from a gas station?
anything. You don't have service for some reason.
And you don't have nothing. Yeah. Are you,
You have to walk to find service to call AAA.
yeah. Do you have what you need to do that?
And then you're like, oh shit, I'm in the mountains. And now that it's dark, it's 30 degrees out when it was 70 at the
Yeah.
bottom of the mountain. And I fucked up because I
Yeah.
didn't have enough clothes.
You got a t-shirt on.
Then you're going to feel real stupid.
Well, you're going to feel unprepared.
You're going to feel unprepared.
Because most people are just not, you know, if every single day I drive in my car and it works, the day it doesn't work, that's a surprise.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of thinking through, if you drive a lot through mountains without service, especially if you're like, let's say a female
Yeah.
alone,
Yeah.
you probably want to have some self-defense and some means to protect yourself
Yeah.
in that situation. Like if I'm a female, like I remember one year for my wife, for her birthday, I got her a necklace knife
Nice.
that you just reach under and pull out, and it's badass.
Nice.
She hadn't had to use it,
That's good.
but it's sexy as fuck when she wears it.
That's nice.
So it's gotten some use.
Yeah. Some mace does pretty well.
And the loud siren,
Oh, yeah.
those things that you just pull off your keychain and it's like super loud. If you're in a parking lot and you're getting attacked, da-da-da-da. Like the percentage likelihood of being a lone female in a public parking lot and something happening that's sketchy, that's a percentage likelihood in certain
Yeah, I mean,
parts
it
of.
depends on where you're at, but
Yeah.
you know your area.
Yeah. So good to be prepared in those situations.
Yeah, I think there's a healthy balance between just walking around and being like, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. And then walking around assuming every single
Right. There's
person
a
is
guy
going
behind
to
every
attack you.
corner who's gonna rob you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Economic downturns, having some savings to where you can at least pay 3 to 6 months of your
yeah, not having literally every egg in one basket.
yeah.
Layoffs.
Yeah. We always spend as much as we make, so trying to work on that and trying to save a little bit to where you've
Yeah.
got 6 months to where you can move, you can pivot if you have to. You know? You get laid off or something like that happens.
That's prepared.
That's pretty common too.
Paranoid is you're afraid to spend money. Just kidding. I don't even know what that is in this situation.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, some of the people that I've met that literally just don't spend a dime,
yeah,
but they don't look miserable.
that's weird.
I guess like the people that are super tight and they don't help anyone, like Scrooge.
Yeah,
I guess that's the opposite.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like they wouldn't help anyone. They wouldn't help their sibling.
Long story short, being prepared is not some.
It's not being a Scrooge.
Yeah, anything can be taken too far.
Yeah. So making rational decisions when living in fear. So the science, this is what's interesting. Prepared, you're operating out of your prefrontal cortex. You're being strategic.
Yep.
Fear, you're operating out of your amygdala, which is
Pretty much.
more, I need to remediate this threat immediately. You're thinking
Yeah.
very short term. You're
Yep.
not thinking strategic. And that's two separate parts of your brain.
Yep.
So if you are making decisions based on fear, you are making short-sighted decisions.
This is what the fear porn's about.
Yeah, being in a fear state. Now, it's great if there's like
An immediate threat.
an immediate threat and you need to get out of threat. The body literally changes its entire chemistry and releases hormones for you
Yeah.
to the best of your
Get
ability.
the fuck out of there.
Get out of there.
Or fight.
Yeah. But
The low level, constant fear weren't designed for that.
yeah. But being prepared is prefrontal cortex. What are what are some scenarios that I could encounter based on my environment and based on my habits?
Yeah.
And how do I prepare to circumvent those or navigate those if they happen? That's good strategic
That's
thinking.
very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, whatever study, Lerner, Lerner, JS, Keltner, 2001 study. The study was exploring how different emotions, including fear, can influence risk perception and decision-making. It suggests that fear may lead to heightened sensitivity to potential risks, which means if you're in that fear state, and you're watching the news, your senses are heightened. So that's when you start doing irrational shit.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, oh my God, I'm going to go spend my life savings on 3 guns, 3 rifles, 2 years worth of food, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Ammo. You just go nuts.
Go nuts. Yeah.
So,
I like it. So back to what I was saying before, the amygdala hijack. So this odd-sounding name is not a medical diagnosis, but rather a term for times when the amygdala is overwhelmed by stress and takes over the brain's response to the situation. Remember that a major function of the amygdala is to process fear and anxiety. When the amygdala hijacks the brain, the frontal lobes of the logic centers are unable to override. So when the amygdala hijacks the brain,
that's from WebMD.
yeah, the prefrontal cortex literally has a hard time getting it back
Yeah.
until you're seemingly out of that threat. And you calm down. So there's a transition period that the brain takes for you to go out of the amygdala and start moving back into the prefrontal cortex. So us as citizens now in the current state that we're in and constant fear porn being projected on us every single day.
With the news, legacy media,
social, then
everything's going to end.
We are constantly operating out of the amygdala and hijacking our brain.
Yep.
So if this continues, I would assume like in 7 generations from now, kids will be born with larger amygdalas and smaller prefrontal cortexes.
Potentially, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, this shit's been going on for a while, right?
I think so. I think it's just so in our face now.
I wonder what the medieval equivalent was.
Another kingdom is going to come in and murder us all and hang us all, rape our children.
Us. Yep. So you have to be scared.
Yeah. I mean,
and the only ones who can protect you is us. So pay taxes.
Yeah.
So there we go.
There we go.
It all came back to taxes.
I think it always goes back to taxes.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Yeah, I mean, if I was in a 800 town village.
Yeah.
And someone came in and said, there's the Norwegian, what were they called? Vikings.
The Vikings.
The Vikings came and on a couple towns over and just literally overnight burnt the city to the ground.
Yeah. Killed, raped, whatever.
Yeah. I'm going to
leave. I'm going
to be in a constant state of fear. But where are you going to go?
The opposite direction.
So I was actually reading.
Where are you going to go? You going to stay there?
Just go in the woods? I mean, it just depends, I guess.
I would go to the next town.
But what they started doing is the Vikings grew so much. There was like a time period over several decades where they were just attacking several parts of different towns.
Well, I don't know what I would have done.
You're going to bug out or bug in? I guess you bug out.
Bug out or bug in. Yeah.
I'd be building up some defenses. That's what I would do.
Out of what? If they can burn it.
Brick.
Brick? Okay. Yeah.
I guess they didn't have guns back then. Cannons. They weren't invented yet.
I don't think so.
I'd have a lot of arrows.
Yeah, there were arrows.
I would have a machine.
An arrow machine gun.
Automatic arrow. An arrow machine gun.
You just turn into an inventor.
That's what I would do.
Like, oh, we're about to die. Let me start inventing shit.
100%. Why not?
Why not?
I mean, that's kind of what I do now. The world's been Indian since I graduated high school.
Yeah, it's true though. That's pretty much the gist of this whole thing. And honestly, it might end. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, are we going to be the generation? But you can't kill everyone. Humans are roaches.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we all know.
It ends in small pockets.
You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
No, definitely not.
Leave it to Bob Marley. So, yeah.
But I mean, if a volcano blows up and your town is evaporated, yes, your world ended.
Yeah.
So in a way, yeah, it can happen.
Yeah.
But as far as like this overbearing doom and gloom of this impending event, just putting pressure on you and making decisions for you, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Don't do it. Sweet.
All right, I think that's it.
So what are we focused on? Is our focus being hijacked?
Yeah,
By
is
fear
there a
porn?
solution here?
I mean, the solution is as we look at what we're consuming and how
Yeah.
we respond to what we consume, and how are we taking action on that information, right? Are we doing our best to enjoy our lives and spend time and serve
Yeah.
our friends and family and neighbors and community? Are we being prepared in the event that something may happen, on a local level, to where that
Yeah.
way we can assist our families and provide?
Yeah, if you live by the ocean, you might want to prepare for hurricanes.
Yeah. Yeah. Be prepared to board up the windows really quick.
Yeah, if you live by a place where there's a lot of forest fires, yada, yada, yada. You
Yeah.
get the gist.
Yeah. If you live
I
by
don't
a
have to
floodplain,
I don't have to prepare for riots in rural North Georgia.
no.
I don't have to care.
Right.
So, even if the world ended, no one cares about where I live.
So let me ask you this then, bro.
What's that?
In
Okay.
what scenario are you preventing that led you to buy your semi-automatic rifle?
I just think that every law-abiding citizen of sound mind
should have
and who's prudent,
means of defense.
yeah,
Okay. I like that. Defense against what?
doesn't matter. That's the whole point.
Yeah, you're prepared.
I'm prepared.
You're not
Yeah.
laying at night in your bed holding it fully loaded
No, I'm not. No, it's not
like
like
fucking
that.
Rambo in the mud,
It's not like that.
waiting for Predator to come out. It's there if you need it.
It's there if I need it
Yeah, I got
for
you.
whatever reason,
Yeah.
And if absolute worst case scenario, you can defend yourself, but you can also hunt,
Yeah.
if you had to, with an AR.
Yeah.
It's not the most optimal, but whatever.
Yeah.
It'll work. It's better than throwing fucking rocks and sticks.
You're just out in the woods throwing sticks at squirrels, starving to death. Yeah, that'd be a sucky scenario.
Yeah, so,
Cool.
that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
That law-abiding people who have, clarity of mind should own firearms.
Yeah.
So,
I agree too. And 3 months of food.
and 3 months of food. I don't have that, but I probably should. Actually, I got a shitload of rice.
Yeah. I mean, you're single, so you could, with what you have, if you had a ration, you could
Yeah.
you could live.
Right,
for
I
3
don't
months.
have a family. I don't have kids.
Yeah.
So, plus, I would make it work. I'd figure something out.
Sweet, bro.
All right.
Let's roll.
All right.